All right, everyone. On today's episode, Nothing Major, we have an amazing interview with Terence Atmane. We also have fan questions and life advice, typical Friday show. So let's get started. Jack Jones, Stevie and Sam, got close a few times, never won a slam, nothing major. All right, everyone, welcome back. Got Steve Johnson, John Isner, Charlie Fox, a team at Self, myself also here. What did I just say?
The team at Sift.
The team
and yourself.
Sift, the team at myself. I think that was the intro. All right, let's get started. All right, everyone. We've got an interview now with Terence Atmane, maybe one of the most fascinating people in the world, certainly on the tennis court.
He lost us for a few minutes during the interview.
He lost us for a few minutes talking about stuff we couldn't comprehend. So I hope you enjoy this interview with Terence Atmane. All right, everyone. On today's podcast, we have the left-hander, the Cincinnati semifinalist from last year, Terence Atmane. First of all, did I pronounce that correctly?
Perfectly.
Really?
Yes, that was perfect.
No way.
That's a first.
All right. I've called a couple of your matches, and I'm always like, is it Atmane? All right, Terence Atmane. First of all, I want to start with this. Your nickname is the Magician.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Obviously, people that have seen you play, you play a little bit like a magician, but you also are somewhat of a magician, right? Do you do magic?
I do. That's why the nickname is coming from. Yeah. So I'm actually doing cards trick mostly. And when I played juniors, everyone called me the Magician because I was literally showing off all of my magic tricks in every single day. And since then, everyone kept that nickname, especially the players of like my age. They all call me the Magician. So I just kept the nickname. That's
unbelievable. Do you walk around? Do you have cards with you at all times?
Yeah,
just in case like the opportunity arises?
I do actually. Yeah. I'm not actually showing them anymore a lot, but I still have the cards in my bag just in case someone want to see like a magic trick, and it's basically my bag every time.
I love that. I was gonna ask you for like a quick one, but is that annoying or no? Is it easy to do a quick one over camera? Will it not hit?
It's gonna be very difficult because my bag is like all the way on the other side, and it's like a 10-minute walk, as you guys know.
It's across the river.
Yeah.
Yes, it's across the river, right. Literally.
Yeah, you're recording this from Madrid. The other magician on tour is Gaël Monfils. And by magician, I mean like he can also do magic and card tricks. Do you guys ever get together and like compare tricks or like perform together for the players?
Not with Gaël, but actually with Constant Lestienne, who's actually doing some crazy magic tricks. And I'm actually doing a lot of trick with Constant because we are comparing. We're just trying to find some ways to make it better, smoother, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a skill that I wish I could have because it'd be a fun kind of trick to go around. You could always have anyone entertained, but let's get into the nitty gritty of things. Let's start with the tennis.
Yes.
You've mentioned in the past, like you're a big gamer. You kind of watched Wii Sports Virtua Tennis as a starting point for your love of the game. Like, is that actually how you fell in love with tennis, or is there, just kind of an off story and there's some family connection somehow?
No. So basically in my family, nobody's playing tennis, not a single one person. And since a very young age, I'm a big fan of video games, and I was spending way too much time on the Wii when I was young. And one day my mom just came back from work and she was a bit upset that I was playing that much. So she literally bought the first racket that she found in a store, and I went straight to the tennis court next to my house, and that's how I started tennis. Yeah.
And how old are you when that happened?
Yeah, so I started tennis when I was 7 years old, and before that I was playing a bit of soccer at my hometown, and luckily for me the tennis center is right across the football stadium, so it was easy for me to get from the soccer field straight to the tennis court, and that's how I started.
And for you, like, when did it become serious? Like, tennis obviously is still a sport. It's fun for all of us. But when did it become a serious, like, I want to do this. I want to be a professional, or is that day still kind of working?
I would say I really took the decision when I was 14, and I stopped school and I just sacrificed everything to play tennis. And unfortunately, in the north of France, where I'm coming from, there's like not really like an adapted structure for me. So I had to move in the south of France by myself for 4 years. And at that time I was very young and it was like a very difficult time, but I guess that's what built my character as well as a player. And let's say I took really that decision when I was 14. And then after COVID came when I was 18, and at that time for like a year and a half I couldn't really play some tennis, and I actually thought about switching into like a professional esport career compared to tennis. Yeah.
What would that professional career have been, do you think?
I was very good at two video games. I was very good at Fortnite and Call of Duty. So basically in Fortnite I was ranked in the top 1000 in Europe. And Call of Duty, I was also like close to that ranking, and I was playing money tournaments in Fortnite, some private tournaments. And when I was 17, 18, I was making money out of these kind of tournaments. Yeah.
That's amazing. That would be, and then like for you, you know, obviously being the magician, being left-handed, was the skill that you possess now that we all see, that we all love to watch, you know, like the flair, the drop shots, kind of all the things that go into it. Has that always been part of your game, or is that something that maybe certain coaches maybe have tried to get out of your game to be more steady, but which makes you who you are?
I would say luckily for me, I got surrounded by coaches that always letting me be myself in a way. So they always letting me try to hit a serve at 150 miles per hour, try to hit a forehand as fast as lightning speed. And they never really cared about me making some mistakes or me like trying to go for it. So I guess I was quite lucky, I would say, because I found some people around me that just let me be myself, and I will literally, I was quite also when I was young. I was also like very, um, I was very lazy, so I always wanted to finish the points in 3 or 4 shots maximum. And I guess that stayed with me a little bit, because of course now I'm not lazy anymore and I'm making the work. But I've always had this thing that in somewhere during the match I could just finish like 2-3 games in like 40 seconds just by doing like one serve, one forehand there, and just trying to go as quick as possible. So I guess that always stayed with me, and luckily for me, the coaches that I had, like, we really worked on it as well. So that helped, let's say.
You're definitely not lazy, and like your IQ is a talking point around you. You're a smart guy. If someone asks me my IQ or Stevie, I don't know what the answer is. Do you know, like, have you taken an IQ test?
I did. So basically, I did a 6-hour test in a professional center, because my mom made a mistake, because for the French Tennis Federation, I needed some documents, and some of the documents were like a cardio test, but just for the VMA. So, and my mom completely misunderstood that, and she thought that we needed an IQ test. So basically, I'm at the psychologist, and she's making me like this 6-hour test in 3 days. And the result came out, and I got a 158 IQ.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Einstein was a 160, so you're not far off from Mr. Einstein.
I wouldn't compare myself to Einstein, but
yeah, we won't.
He doesn't have the creativity that you have on the tennis court. I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure he has other like facilities outside of a tennis court.
Yeah. Does that cause you, when you're playing tennis, do you sometimes like overthink or overanalyze what you could do because you're so smart?
I wouldn't say so smart, but let's say that I'm thinking in a very different way than most people, I would say. So, for example, sometimes I can do some sequences of games that for maybe some people doesn't make any sense, but for me it's crystal clear, you know? It's just, I'm just being myself. But you know what? I think that has always been a problem before, because for me, because I was overthinking a lot and I was always trying to find solutions, or always trying to do more, like I got really frustrated really quick, you know, because it was basically like so many thoughts in my head, and that was so messed up. And I used to be very, very nervous on the tennis court. I have a season in 2024 that I had the 35 racket broken, basically. And I got over like, I don't know, over like 25 to 30 point penalty like in a single season. So it was very tough for me to find a way to truly control my emotions, I guess. And
Yep.
it was like a very hard work, and it took me a lot of time to be able to control that thoughts and just saying to myself that sometimes I don't have to think, sometimes I just have to go for it, I just have to play. And of course it's like a lot of work also on the tennis court about sequences that becomes like automatic. But yeah, sometimes it's not perfect, but yeah, I worked a lot on it, and now it's way better. I can finally, from last year, I would say, uh, let's. I'm gonna try to put the good words, and my English is not so great, but I would say I found a way to put my mind stronger than my emotions, let's say.
Are there others like you on tour? Is there like a smart guy club when you walk by each other, you kind of acknowledge each other or anything?
Sam and I would not be a part of that.
You guys eat together and everything?
Actually, no. And the funny thing is that I'm actually big into quantum physics and big about like this like nerdy stuff that I learned a lot. And unfortunately, I have no one to talk with about it because it's a little bit niche, I would say, on the ATP tour to talk about quantum physics. But I don't lose hope, let's say.
All right. Maybe, hopefully, you get a someone like you to get their way in the top 100, so you can have some coffees and dinners with them.
That would be fantastic.
That would be. Let's step back for a second. Before your run in Cincinnati last year, you're playing a lot of challengers. I want to go back to that. Was there like when you were rising up through the challenger ranks, like a low point where you're like, I don't know if this is going to be for me. I'm struggling. I'm at this like horrible tournament. I feel like everyone kind of has that moment at some point. Did you ever have that?
Yes, I would say yes and no. I would say no because, let's say, I kind of always knew, like deep inside, that I was able to do it. But there's a big difference between when you do it and when you think that you can do it. So I guess I would say no because I always knew, like deep inside, that I could do something good or something great in this sport. And at the same time, yes, because I mean, basically every week you're coming to these challengers, you play these top 50 players, you play these young guys coming up, you play guys with more experience than you, and it's very tough because basically you're still losing every week, even if you play some challengers, and you're not winning them all, even if you think that you can do some good result in ATP, do you still have that gap to pass? So it's a very complicated one. And I think that the level today is like just incredible. When I just watch all these names in challengers, it's pretty scary, to be honest. Like to win a challenger today, it requires like to be very, very good. So, and yeah, let's say that you always have like this little voice inside of your head to say like, are you actually really gonna make it, or are you just thinking that you can do it but you will never do it? It's like it's very complicated when you never did it once, or like when you never make like a good result in ATP, or when you haven't win a lot of guys in like the top 100, top 50, like you're like a little bit lost in the middle of this tour, of this challenger tour, and it's very tough to pass that gap because the level is very high.
That's such a smart guy answer. I forgot before Stevie moves on to Cincy, I forgot I was going to ask you this. Quick, what's 9 times 7?
Sorry, what?
What's 9 times 7?
56.
Dang. What's
no.
5? You missed it.
Sam has
This
no way to
whole
back this
IQ
up.
thing now. Oh man, we got to do new IQ test. Maybe
Gosh, I'm
different.
fried. It's 63. Sorry, I flew last night very late. Holy.
8 times 5.
40.
7 times 6.
42.
Sam also doesn't know these answers, Terence.
Yeah,
so
I don't know
fine.
if anything. I don't know if anything I'm asking you if your answers are right.
42.
You can say whatever. He's not going to know.
12 times 3.
36.
All right, you can move on now. You've passed the test. I don't know if your answers were right, but it seemed like it.
All right, well, let's move on out of the grind of challenger life and tough math questions. Last year is 2025. We're in Cincinnati. You start in qualies. You know, it's not luck, how you play great tennis that week, but what ultimately clicked for you? Like, what came into place? Was, everything kind of come into play, like your serve, forehand, backhand, all the shot making. Like, what happened in that week? Could you notice anything different from you physically or mentally from the start of it, at least?
Yeah, I think that I really felt comfortable by playing qualies, actually. I think that truly helped me to be able to perform well in the main draw, because on the first 3 rounds, so the 2 rounds of qualies and the first round main draw, I didn't drop any sets and I get broken only once in 3 matches. So it actually really helped me to have a sort of confidence in my game, saying, okay, I've won only like 3 matches, I feel great, and let's just keep pushing, And match after match, you hear, you fight, you win. You came out of complicated situation, especially against Koboli in the second round when I was down 4-3 in the third and he was serving with new balls for 5-3 for him, and then came back 5-5 tiebreak final set. He make a double fault, the first one of the match, and you just like here in the third round, like a little bit miraculously, and then after you just play free, because you have nothing to lose. I was like almost 150 at that period, like when I was playing that tournament. So playing these guys in the top 50, top 100, I was basically playing without any pressure. So it truly helped also to be the underdog in that tournament. And I think that it was like a great feeling to play with no fear, actually.
Yeah, and from that tournament, right? Like, it takes one big breakthrough or one match, one moment, for you to kind of gain that confidence. And, each round when you start beating Fonseca, then Fritz, then Holger Rune, did you ever look, before those? Sometimes if you get into an event like that, you feel like, oh, I've made the third round or I've made the quarters, like, oh, I've had a great week, I'm kind of done. But it never looked that way for you. Even when you were playing Sinner in the semis, you were full go. Was your mentality like, I'm going to go out there and beat Yannick Sinner, I can win Cincinnati, even though 10 days ago I was in qualies?
Yeah, actually, yes. And I'm going to tell you like the crazy story about it. It's actually my coach who actually truly teach me that. So my coach always like told me that when you play against these big guys, I think the first thing that I have to think in my case is just like thinking that I'm better than them, even if it's completely delusional to say that. But basically, when you step on court and you say to yourself that I'm better than them and I'm the one who's, let's say, the favorite on that match, like in my case, mentally, it worked in a way that I was just trying to say to myself that if I lose against that guy, it's not normal because I'm the one who's the favorite. And it's completely delusional to say that, but it was fantastic because when I was missing and I was frustrated, which is not normal when you play a guy like Yannick or when you guys were playing against Novak or Rafa or Roger, it's like not normal. You cannot really get frustrated, but I was really trying to convince myself that I was the favorite of the match and the match was for me because I was better than him. And that was very funny because every time that I play against these guys, I'm always trying to say to myself that I'm better than them and I'm the favorite here. So it just put me in a mindset of if I miss, it's not normal. So I have to go for it. I have to prove that I'm the better guy here. And I think that's fantastic because it's completely delusional and I love it.
I mean, it's super impressive the way you were kind of able to stay composed, obviously, and physically and emotionally through that tough stretch. But there's been something I've wanted to ask you since then. You wrote after you beat Holger Rune, Fermi's paradox, when you're signing the camera. For us, maybe not with a 158 IQ in Sam and myself. Can you explain that to us and what the meaning of that was behind it?
We're 157.
57. Yeah. So basically, during the entire week, I was actually learning about some quantum physics, and this Fermi's paradox came into the subject of what I was learning. So basically, the Fermi's paradox is, yeah, I'm good at explaining it in French in my own language, but in English it's going to be tough. But I'll try my best.
Okay.
So basically, we take the entire universe and the size of it is around 90 billion light years. I'm going to try to rephrase that again. Sorry.
We could also just look it up and we can put it on the bottom of the screen for our listeners.
Yeah.
No.
I've got the quick Google version. It says the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the total lack of evidence for contact with such civilizations.
Correct. So basically, when we get like deeper into that, it's basically saying that the universe is so big, we actually count around, let's say, between 150 to 200 millions of galaxies. Each galaxy has between 100 to 200 billion stars, all right? And out of these 150 to 200 billion stars inside of each galaxy, there is between 15 to 20% chances on each of them have a sun, all right? And if there is a sun in these 15 to 20% chances of having one, there is most likely between 1 to 2.5% chances to have a planet or exoplanet that can be as same as Earth in a way that life can appear on that planet. So when we do like quick math, we have the lowest probability that we have is between, I would say, 15 to 20 millions of planets that are in the entire universe or just being able to have life. All right. And when you put it like that, it's actually scary because we all know that our galaxy is pretty young. It has like 5 billion years compared to some other galaxies who maybe have like 20 billion years. And so what we're saying here is we can see how the technology has advanced since, let's say, the 1800 to now. In 300 years, it's actually that there's like a huge gap difference on the humanity, right? So what we're saying here with the Fermi's paradox is, and there's also 3 types of civilization in that paradox. So there's the type 1 is a civilization that can use the entire energy of his own planet. So for example, on the stage 1, Earth is at, let's say, 0.7, and we should reach the phase 1 in 300 to 400 years, so we can use the entire energy of our planet. Then the second stage is the same civilization being able to use the integrity of the energy of his own sun. So basically, we have concept like the Dyson sphere, which is an actual concept of a huge, let's say, building all around the sun, which also take all the radiation of the sun and to use that as energy. So this is, let's say, the stage 2, and the stage 3 is the same civilization being able to use the energy of his entire galaxy. And in that Fermi's paradox, we're saying that basically, if the universe is so big, if there was like even one civilization that has reached the stage 3 and can already going like between galaxies, why do we like never notice it? Like, why are we like, actually alone if we all know like these probabilities? So that's the Fermi's paradox in a way.
That was described perfectly. You lost me about 3 minutes ago. Can't comprehend anything you just said, and our listeners here at Nothing Major are not that smart. Let me dumb this down. Whoa. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes, I do. Because statistically, it's impossible that we're alone.
Wow.
What's going based on the numbers?
What do you think the aliens look like? Have you ever thought about that?
They can be exactly like us, or it can be just a form of virus, or can be just fishes. Like, we have no idea, of course, but everything that can have life in this planet is like considered as like aliens in a way. So it can be
good point.
Kind of like weird species of fish that is like in a planet of like full of ocean, for example. But this ocean requires the perfect conditions like to have these weird fish, you know? So aliens can be described as like, as you want in a way. it's not like always the ET or the alien with the gray face with the big eyes. It can be like something else.
If you knew that it was like safe to go to Mars and you could fly up there, and maybe we will in our lifetime, would you sign up to go on a rocket and go land on Mars and explore it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so fascinating.
Would you rather do that or win a major?
I'll win a major for sure.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I mean,
wow. All right, fair enough.
All right, everyone. Today's show is brought to you by Vanguard. To all the financial advisors out there whose job it is to help your clients keep more of what they earn, Vanguard is here to help you with that. Vanguard is slashing fees once again, and this time it's for more than 50 of its funds. That's on top of the big fee cuts they gave last year to investors in 87 of their funds. In an increasingly high-priced world, Vanguard is staying true to excellence without the expense. Not only do your clients keep more of what they invest, they get sophisticated active and index bond funds at industry-leading low cost. The low fees give Vanguard's skilled bond managers more freedom to maneuver as they pursue outperformance. And the low fees help you deliver greater value as an advisor. Top performance shouldn't come at a higher cost. Go see the record for yourself at vanguard.com/impact. That is vanguard.com/impact. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor. For a long time, France had a great group of older players. You had Songa, Gasquet, Monfils, Simon, Paul-Henri Mathieu. These guys are all retired or retiring now. Were you able to spend any time with them as a young player and kind of see what they did growing up? And, how does that new wave of like French young players, yourself, Arthur Fils, Rinder Knecht, kind of like, do you guys have that same bond that those guys did?
Yeah, actually, we have like a pretty good relationship between can be Hugo and Bert, myself, Arthur Fils, Giovanni Mpecci, Arthur Cazot, Arthur Rinder Knecht, and all the French group, let's say. And yeah, we're trying our best to do as good as they did because the problem in France is that they're like always saying that French people has like never done anything in tennis because we like never won a slam or anything, but it's a bit stupid because when you see Gaël, Joe and all these guys, what they did in tennis, it's just fantastic when you see the level that it has been reached like 10-15 years ago. For me, I mean, we don't know if like today we're like able to do the same, of course. So it's it's like really inspiring, especially Gaël compared to all the other one, because with all the other like older guys, I never get the chance really to spend a lot of time, but with Gaël I do spend a lot of time with him. And luckily for me, we have the same kind of passions. He loves Pokemon, he loves Magic, so we like hanging out together. We try to practice as much as we can together. So it's also really inspiring to be surrounded by someone like Gaël, who I consider today like a big brother, so he can also, when I have like some stupid questions about, Gaël, it's today I played the fourth round in Miami. I feel very stressed. Like, did you face like this situation before? Like, how did you feel before coming to that match? How did you manage that stress when we play at home in France? Was it easy for you to do this or to do that? And it's like, he's always happy to help, in a way. So it's truly fantastic to have also these guys that we can talk with, and they're like really also open-minded to share also their experience. So I think it's fantastic.
You're a shoe guy, right?
Shoe guy?
You got cool shoe. You got a shoe collection.
Yes.
You had an ASICS sponsorship years ago, and you wore Nikes on the court.
Correct.
You lost your sponsorship. Can you take us back to the decision, like why you did that?
Exactly. That's fantastic. So basically, ASICS fired me in August of 2024. And obviously I had no other clauses than the ones that they gave me. So in September, there is like the Asia swing, and I was thinking about doing something crazy because I was already fired. So I had like nothing to lose. So I just took the opportunity of playing in the center court of Shanghai Master and just carrying my Travis Scott shoes on the tennis court and with a full ASICS fit. So it's actually my goal there is just like to make it a bit viral, just to show them that it's okay, I'm good. I can do whatever I want now. So I just try to take the opportunity of me being fired and have like basically having no more contract to just grab that opportunity to do something cool.
I love it. Do you have a favorite pair of sneakers that you own?
Yeah. I have the Nike SB Strange Love. It's actually an edition that came out for Valentine's Day, and it's more like for collection shoe. Let's say it's like very expensive pair of shoe, and that one's my favorite. It's like there's this nice pink and red on the shoe with a little heart on the side. It's so beautiful.
Oh,
So are you wearing those or no?
No, but actually today I'm wearing these ones. I think these ones are pretty cool too. You can see. It's like kind of like a running from Dior, and I'm just wearing them in the even when I step on practice court because I love shoes.
It's a tough season right now for the tennis world to have new fancy like trendy shoes because they got the clay everywhere. It's gonna get red. You got to be real careful.
Yes, I know. That's why I took them black.
I want to, yeah. I want to chat about Pokemon. You're obviously you're big into Pokemon. You have an incredible collection. Where did that stem from? Have you been like a Pokemon guy since you were little? And how big is your Pokemon collection right now? And if you could, what's your Pokemon collection worth? If you can tell us,
it's worth around, I would say, between $500,000 to $600,000 today.
That is incredible.
And so basically, I started that collection when I was little. So let's say from my pocket, I put, let's say, 200,000, and now it's worth, I would say, 600,000 now.
Yeah.
And so basically, I was always collecting when I was a kid, and Pokemon always followed me when I was a kid, when I was young, and especially during that period when I was by myself in the south of France, when I was 14, 15, 16. And that's where I I was just going to the local Target store to get some booster packs to open them and just to collect them. And after some times I was winning, I was getting my first paycheck. So with that paychecks, I was actually buying some new cards. And then after that's how I start slowly to build my collection. And obviously for the past 2-3 years, that's where things start to become also very serious. And now today I have one of the largest Pokemon collection in France for sure. And I'm trying also to make it also very big international wise. So I'm building like a solid collection now. Yeah.
That's amazing. So that's what I was going to ask you. Are you constantly on like the auction websites if a unique card goes for sale or you want to sell yours? Are you like managing that and trying to add to your collection like while you're on the tour?
Yes. So the good thing about that is that because I didn't put a lot of money compared to what's my collection worth today, I actually have my collection is like auto-financed by the sales that I've done about my own cards. So basically, I have a budget in Pokemon that just go for Pokemon and what I'm spending no money. But obviously, when the card is like very big and I have to put some money on myself, I rather do it than just let it go, you know. So, but I always look at the auctions. I'm trying to sell sometimes some cards that had like a big boom on the value time, like X10, X20 on like some cards that I bought. And yeah, and today I also have social media just for my Pokemon collection. I have like an Instagram account where I manage all my sales, all my auctions, and all my the things that I buy. And I also have a middleman who's working for me to get me some things that I like, and I just give him some percentage when he get me something that I want.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. I know, like for us, like Sam, myself, like you have a big run in Cincinnati or somewhere. Are you, a little after that week? Are you like, all right, maybe I will buy this expensive Pokemon card, or will you rather go buy shoes, or like what's your vice if you want to have like a reward for yourself after a big week in Cincinnati?
So I like also watches. So I always been also into watches, but obviously watches cost a lot of money today. So I'm always trying to buy a watch when either there is a big result or a ranking gap that has been reached. For example, when I cracked the top 200 for the first time in my life, I bought my first Rolex. Then when I cracked the top 100, I bought my second Rolex. And in Cincinnati, when I made the semifinal, I was like, that's a good excuse to buy my third Rolex, and now that 2 weeks ago I cracked the top 50, now it's another good opportunity to get my fourth one, So I'm trying to reward myself like that. And out of the prize money, I'm always trying to keep at least 70% of my prize money to reinject on my tennis career, and the 30 other percent to do whatever I want. So it can be shoes, Pokemon cards,
I like that.
or basically whatever I want. But I'm trying to keep a lot of budget because I do invest a lot in my career first, obviously. And then after the rest or the bonuses or whatever, I'm trying to keep it for myself and to make also myself happy because as you guys know, the tour is like very intense and we don't have like a lot of time to enjoy. So I'm trying to enjoy as much as I can off the court as well. I think it's important to have this balance. So yeah, but I'm quite cool with it. You know, I like beautiful stuff. You know, I like jewelries, I like clothes, I like brands. I like all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, I'm trying to be reasonable in a way that I'm never spending more than 30% more than what I'm earning on tournaments.
Smart. And that's where the brains come in.
I got one final would you rather. Would you rather find a PSA 10 first edition Shadowless Charizard right now for our fans that have no idea what that means? That's like a limited edition Pokemon card worth like maybe close to $500,000, or have a deep run at the French Open in a couple weeks, even more than that, or make like a semifinal final at the French Open.
If we switch to the Pikachu Illustrator in PSA 9,
yeah,
who's worth like
of course
let's put the same kind of prize money, you know, like so we put final French Open, it was like 1.5 million, and we put the PSA 9 Illustrator Pikachu in PSA 9. Yeah, you know what, it's a true 50-50 because it's like because in both
you can't say that. You can't say that. You got to pick one.
Because you know, in both cases,
we're not accepting that answer.
It's my dream as a kid to have like either that card or making like a deeper into this kind of tournaments. But you know what? I will go with.
You can say the card.
You know what? Yeah, I will go with the Pikachu Illustrator. I'm sorry to say that. I will go with the Pikachu Illustrator. Yeah, for sure.
So would we. All right, Terence, thank you. That's what we got. Good luck in Madrid, in Rome, in Roland Garros, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Terence, thanks, dude.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was Terence Atmane. Awesome guy. Like I'm friend of the pod now for life, and we'll be cheering him on. So thanks again for him hopping on the pod, and good luck in Madrid and Rome.
So Sam, everyone knows that the tour, of course, is in Europe now for a long time. So should we talk about a struggle that us Americans normally have when we do travel?
Yeah, it's data. Data is a problem. You know, when you land and your phone chimes in, it's like, oh, data usage. No one ever knows what you're talking about. You got those roaming charges. It's such a pain in the butt. That's the issue we're always facing.
Yeah, and remember, you guys, we get to Europe, we got bad connections. We're trying to find the Wi-Fi. Usually it's like a 10-minute, 15-minute thing. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing, and you're just getting scammed by those guys handing out those data cards at the airport, but not anymore.
Yeah, and half the time, as we know, in Europe, the Wi-Fi doesn't even work. Everything's a big headache. You're trying to relax in Europe. You're trying to relax before your tournament. It's not possible when you have all these data overages happening on your phone. You can't relax with that. That's when Saily comes into play.
And with Saily, you can download a data plan straight to your phone before or during your trip and connect as soon as you land.
Works in over 200 destinations. Let's face it, you're not going anywhere other than these 200 destinations. Also, you can get a regional or global plans. You know, so if you're going to like the tip of Africa or something, you can hit like those countries. You go into like Asia, you can hit those countries. You put that little eSIM in, and then you never have to take it out again. It's awesome. You don't have to reinstall it for every trip. It's very easy.
Yeah. We are going to Roland Garros in a few weeks. And like, I really wish we had this when we were on tour, but this will be my second year using Saily, going to Roland Garros as a contributor this year, not a player. It's easy. There's no stress about data. As we mentioned, there's no scrambling to connect to anything. You'll be online straight away and you're good to go.
Check it out. We're putting the QR code on our screen right now. You know, take your phone up, put it on that, and then go to the App Store and download Saily.
Yeah, and you get an exclusive 15% discount on Saily data plans by using our code NOTHINGMAJOR at checkout.
So download the Saily app or go to Saily.com. That's SAILY.com/nothingmajor.
All right, time for fan questions. and life advice after that. We got good ones today. First fan question. This is from Shane from New Zealand. Do any of them, that feels like us, do any of us feel like they can come back to the tour as doubles specialists? You have the experience and essentially only have to cover half a court. We've hinted at this before. Who wants this one?
We already know our answer. I want to hear John's answer, actually.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I think if you give any two of us right now 1 year, we're like top 40 in the world in doubles.
From right now.
From right now, yes.
Not,
right now.
Not,
I'm talking
not
like
1 year to train. Like, that's play a tournament next week.
Yep.
We need some wild cards.
We need some
a
wild
little bit of
cards,
help.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that.
My doubles game was good in Dallas, wasn't it, Sam? I know I keep talking about that.
Dude, you were lighting up the returns in Dallas.
I feel a better returner now than I ever was on tour.
And the rebuttal from people will be like, well, just do it then. Well, we don't want to do it.
We don't want to do it.
So we're busy.
Could you honestly, there's nothing against that, but imagine being in Madrid for that long tournament for just doubles.
Dude.
That'd be hard. That'd be hard. So that's why we don't do it. You know,
exactly.
we have families back in the States. It would be hard. Yeah, it's nice to play the Grand Slams, but the rest of the tour, it's not that glamorous in our minds.
If I could play 6 tournaments, I would do it, but that's not how it works.
Exactly.
Next, James from Virginia. Do you think there should be a cap on how many foreigners are in college tennis? It seems like it's hurting the U.S. tennis development and keeping U.S. kids from getting scholarships. Be honest. Hot takes make podcasts better. Let me start with John, because I saw me and Patrick McEnroe actually were texting the other day. There was an SEC match the other day, and maybe was it the playoffs?
SEC tournament.
SEC tournament. There's 12 players playing, right? There's 6 matches, and I believe only one was an American.
Yeah.
What schools were they?
That's right. That's what PMAC
curious.
said. It was Texas versus Mississippi State. Yeah.
One American. So let me start with John. Do you think there should be a cap on how many foreigners U.S. colleges should be allowed to put on the team?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I know these are our American universities. I don't mind kids coming from abroad to get a great education in the United States. If you want to play college tennis and top college tennis, look, if you're good, you're going to play, right? And I think college, the product, Stevie talked about on Monday how many players are in the top 50 that played college tennis, and that's a lot of them are foreigners. So I think the college tennis product right now is as strong as it's ever been. So it's a really good watch. I think it should only motivate these American players to get into these top colleges and try to play at the very top of these lineups in said top colleges. So that's my opinion. I don't mind it.
Stevie, I have a strong opinion on this as well, but if you want to go.
Yeah, I have a very strong opinion on this. Absolutely no way should it, just be Americans. It should be foreign guys. Like, if you're good enough, you play. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what university you're at. Some universities are obviously harder to attract, maybe some American talent, just because honestly, I think American kids are a little spoiled, quite frankly. Like, you kind of get coddled to this point. You get told you're good all the time. And look, at a certain point, being told you're good and being good is 2 different things. You need to actually be a good tennis player to play at these top universities. And if you're not good enough, you won't play. On all my teams, we had 3 guys that were foreign and 3 guys that were American. That's just the way it worked out. But the foreign guys, they bring a different intensity, a different work ethic, right? They bring a different background. You just work together. And if you're good enough, you play. So no, there should be no cap on you have to have American guys. You have, so I'm 100% with John. Like, if you are good enough at the top universities, you play. It's cut and dry. If you're the best guys, you play. That's how it is. Doesn't matter what you are. If you're not good enough, get better. We're getting to a point where you got to be better.
Isn't it weird how, like, in tennis, like, the European guys are quote unquote tougher than the Americans, but if you go to like basketball, like, the European NBA guys are like soft.
Correct.
And it's like the American guys that are tougher.
I think it's just different. Like,
is that
for
right?
the sports, right?
Yeah, they always talk about in the NBA like, oh, it's the soft Euro who, like, maybe a little different now with like the Joker, but
yeah. He's
Anyway.
He immediately comes to mind as tough.
He'd be the one guy that's not soft.
I feel like on the college tennis, I feel like private universities should be able to do whatever you want. If you want 100% Europeans, go for it. I do feel like public universities that are funded by like taxpayer dollars I'd be okay with a cap on that. I don't have like, and I think, honestly, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Also, I think some of my tax dollars are going to like public universities, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're Yeah,
Like I live in
wrong.
California, like UCLA. I'm assuming some of my tax dollars trickle to that campus. I think I want a cap on foreigners at that school for that reason.
A lot of it's lottery funded too. In these like lotteries,
Correct.
state lotteries can fund
Yeah,
colleges. But
you get what I'm
also
saying. I do think public universities should be capped.
But it'll never happen because these teams would these big, huge public schools. They would never win with all Americans. That's just the landscape of tennis right now. Junior tennis.
I mean, the last All American team to really win was 2002. No. 2003. No, who went? Like the Illinois team.
Yeah.
Way back when.
I can't remember yet. It's been a while since an All American team has taken the title.
But there should be a good mix of foreign guys and American guys. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I think it's great. It's great for everybody.
All right, life advice. This is from Carlos in Arizona. There's a guy at my club who decided I'm his rival for some reason, even though I'm not even that good. Every time I show up with anything new, racket, shoes, whatever, he's right there making comments like, all that gear for what? All that gear? No idea. Meanwhile, he's treating a casual hit like it's the US Open. What's the move here? Just lean into it and keep showing up with the new stuff? Ignore him? Or start talking a little trash back without getting myself into something I definitely can't back up? This is great.
Yeah, I say ignore him. This guy clearly has some self-confidence issues, like, talking down to you. And he's the better tennis player, right? The guy that's making fun of you. So don't get into a war of words. And the next thing you know, you have to challenge him and you're going to lose. And that'll just feed into his ego. I say ignore him.
I also like that Carlos doesn't sound that good, but he always has new racket, shoes, and whatever.
Look good, play good.
What?
Good for him.
Play good.
He obviously is a big Tennis Warehouse fan.
Yes, he probably gets all that gear at Tennis Warehouse. Stevie, what do you want Carlos to do?
You gotta if he's bullying you because he's better, like, that's ridiculous, dude. Like, find a new hobby, like, go do something else. Like, just find somebody else. No, the other guy. I'm saying, like, the other guy. Like, if that guy's just being like a bully, like, figure it out. Like, if he's a listener, which I'm sure he is. But for Carlos, dude, just avoid this guy. Like,
what if you can't avoid him? Sometimes you can't avoid a bully.
Yeah, you can't avoid a bully. But what's that? I think when you're adults, it's like the advice is a little different. You can ignore, right? Like,
just ignore.
Yeah.
It's hard to avoid a bully. Yeah.
Carlos just seems like he wants to go to the club and have some fun, play some tennis, have his new gear, and like that's all he wants. And he's just getting bullied into, I don't know what, but just ignore the guy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go have some play some tennis, have some fun with your new gear, and enjoy it.
All right, next one. This is from Josh in Connecticut. This is an amazing question. This is so good. Hey guys, love the pod. Need your expert advice on a serious workplace crisis. I was in a really important meeting the other day, dead silent room, big bosses there, and out of nowhere, someone accidentally let out the most disrespectful fart I've ever heard. The problem is I was sitting in the perfect blame position, so everyone just slowly turned and looked at me. I froze, said nothing, took the hit. My question is, what's the correct play here? Do you defend yourself and risk making it a whole thing? Call out the real culprit? Or just accept your new identity as that guy and move on? This is brutal. I feel bad for Josh. I honestly don't know.
I think you do the Dumb and Dumber thing, and you just, you point at, you just close your eyes and point at who did it. You can't like, if you feel like everyone's looking at you as the culprit, that's tough, man. You can't. Then you're walking around like that, like you're the fart guy for as long as you work in that office.
Farts will always be funny.
There's two ways. I say if you're Josh here, you take it, you own it. Because look, in the workplace, I'm just saying, like, it's good to show that you made a mistake and you can own it and be that guy, right? You can move on and kind of just keep, plugging along going forward. Maybe the bosses would like to see that. Maybe the bosses know, like, this guy made a mistake, but he can own it and he can still be a productive member of the workforce. And maybe that'll help him for a promotion.
I mean, it's got to be one of just a couple of people that was right around him. So, like, the culprit, he can get to the bottom of who the culprit is.
Yeah. I feel like he knows who the culprit is.
I feel like you almost pause me and be like, I didn't do that. Like, who farted?
Yeah, that was not me.
That was not me. Like, just so everyone knows.
No, next week in Monday morning's meeting, just call out the guy who did it then. That's either it. You either own it and you know you can fall on a sword for the company, or you got to call out the guy immediately.
I feel like you at least got to go into the big bosses and just be like, I didn't fart at the meeting. Just, I know it looked like it was me, but I would never do that. I think it's got to be addressed.
It has to be addressed.
You can't just be walking around, because everyone went home that night and talked about it or told their friends.
That's true.
It's just Josh the fart
It's the
guy
first thing I would
around
do.
the office.
That's brutal, though.
That's tough.
Yeah. So anyway, I think just head to the big bosses. Just let them know it wasn't you. Honestly, you got to do it. All right, that was good. Great question. 2 great life advice questions. That's it for Friday. Hope you enjoyed the Terence Atmane interview, and we'll be back next week. We got Ethan Quinn interview coming up too in the next week or two. So look forward to that, and see you guys Monday. 4 friends who played on tour, hung it up and wanted something more. Nothing major. Jack, John, Stevie, and Sam got close a few times, never won a slam. Nothing major.